This video is more of a diary / journal entry than a helpful, fun, upbeat tech video. So if you're here for that, this isn't that. This is me thinking back on 2018 as we're now into 2019 and thinking about how 2018 was the most incredible, amazing, and also the most challenging and hardest year of my entire life. And there's a lot of stuff that happens on the internet where people kind of only show the good and show the highlights, and that's cool and that's important. And I mean, a lot of entertainment we want to feel better about, but there's also the other side, which is when you make the choice to chase your dreams and go after something that you really want to do, it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. And sometimes we need to talk about how incredibly difficult and painful and rock bottom that can be. But I don't think that you end up getting one without the other. And so, to start this video, I just want to showcase some highlights of what happened this year as my business partner Greg and I decided to go full-time into creating content and being online personalities from a very small, much maligned, made fun of city in the middle of Canada that a lot of people think, like, can anything good come from Regina? That's the city we're from. Even the name is kind of comical because it should be Regina, but it's pronounced Regina. But we put it all on the line, and, well, this happened.
I've never heard of you. I don't know who you are, but you're here in the dressing room. Everyone else seems to know who you are. What's happening?
Justin and Greg, 306, that's the area code of Saskatchewan.
And you're about to go for a ride that you're never going to forget.
Spoiled milk. No.
Are we going to get stuff up to here? Oh, there's a cow! Let's go get Eric. Headband.
It's not a headband, it's a tennis band.
We're eating 200 Chicken McLovelies.
Oh my gosh, he's like literally gonna burn me.
It's on your shirt.
You stole my idea.
This was my idea.
This is Saskatchewan Vegas Golden Knights. We're gonna go tell the premier about it right now.
This is our jersey we wear all the time.
Well, now a couple of Canadian comedians want to get in on the action.
Greg Moore and Justin Reeves. Their solution? Just adopt the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
No NHL hockey team. The closest ones are Edmonton, Calgary, and Winnipeg.
And if an entire province would like to adopt the Golden Knights as their official team, we'd be all for it.
That just makes me bitter. The whole thing.
How much creep have you traded for? To be honest, nah, it can't be that hard.
It's lost in the universe, and I have no idea where it is.
It's so cold out there now that it's February.
You're such a baby. This is better.
Guy doesn't like being touched.
Hey, get out of the
Look at how ready he is. Don't Getting ready for Vegas. There's a wedding chapel there, you guys.
It's me and my LA cruiser, baby.
That guy destroys me. Justin Reeves. How do you feel about the province of Saskatchewan adopting the Vegas Golden Knights? Are you on board with that?
That's on board with that,
Right now I'm watching Switch Up Bird.
Oh, my wife would love you!
I wish I had my Indiana Jones hat, though.
Loser has to shave their beard however Jags Nation decides.
You're both dorks.
Guess who's back? Why don't we just go to New York to Jimmy and hand deliver him a shirt?
Yeah, the crazy Vegas Nation has connected us with someone who works at the night show. We're about to go on a private tour in Chief Studios.
This says live. Hey, we're here! Every Tuesday special on Jag. It's Jag!
We're taking the Pepsi challenge.
Like, do you need instructions? When you eat a burrito and you eat through the middle, you end up with 2 more burritos. Sugar-free, dairy-free, gluten-free. Wow, we let him get cameras!
More coffee, you guys.
All right, welcome to Luxurious Backseat. We've got heated seats, we've got coffee, we've got a Wi-Fi hotspot. Oh my God, that's peak life.
thought we would actually quiz the players on their knowledge of Saskatchewan trivia.
Those are very easy questions.
Sign it!
Justin and Greg.
You're the most useless person in the world.
Oh, God, you got in my eye. The smell hit me in the eye. Don't worry, I have rural maps on my phone.
Keep the canola field on your left until you pass Donaldson's farm.
Who are these guys?
I don't know, these guys are terrible.
The story ain't over yet. Let's create history. Now, I don't know if you necessarily understand, or you probably haven't been following that journey. I don't even know who's watching this video, but everything from starting an entire movement for our whole province to adopt a hockey team to becoming, NHL level media, like professional level media, to having the premier to my basement studio. That's like our governor of instead of a state, a province, come and play Bean Boozled with us, to getting a private tour of NBC studios because we wanted to deliver a t-shirt to Jimmy Fallon, and the first 3 plans failed miserably, but miracles happened, to, I don't know, trading cryptocurrency and making so many fun, wild, weird videos, interviewing celebrities, sports people, politicians. It's just it was the most insane year, and I couldn't have ever dreamt of all of those things happening. At the beginning, if I went back 12 months and you would have told me all that stuff happened, the ending of the video where we're leading the intro in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final, the biggest sporting event maybe ever in the history of Vegas, aside from fights, but a serious event. We do the intro that again was shot here in the basement in the entertainment capital of the world. Wild stuff. But it came at a cost, and I guess that's a little bit of what I want to talk about in this video. And it's the vulnerability of saying that in order to make those things happen, it was incredibly difficult for me personally. Now, it's been about 4 years, over 4 years since I quit my last job and went out on my own. And I was doing consulting and marketing work, but then about almost 3 years ago now, I started the vlog. And it kind of kicked off in the early days by doing 30 days straight and then doing, 170 vlogs over the course of 7 months. And it kind of turned into working 5 nights a week from about 7:38 p.m. once the kids were down to, 1 a.m. typically, editing videos and doing thumbnails and descriptions and putting that all out. And I kind of got in this mode where I was hustling. And I love guys I think there's a book by Gary Vaynerchuk right here that kind of got me started. And I think the truth is if you want to get ahead in life, you do absolutely have to hustle and you have to work hard. And my work ethic became, I would say, incredible. I was working so hard, working during the day on work, coming home, spending time with my family, being present there, hanging out with my wife, and then going back into work mode, cutting out Netflix, didn't have video games, really. And a lot of great stuff happened because of that. But over time, I guess it maybe wasn't sustainable. And especially coming into this past year as our Justin and Greg stuff ramped up and we made the decision to go full time, it took me a while to wake up and realize that I was not the best version of myself because I was incredibly stressed out about basically everything and trying to control things so much and working so hard that I think along the way I kind of lost myself this year, which is a bit crazy to say, but it's funny because I talked to Greg about this and he's a guy that we spend so much time together and spend a lot of time working together, but I don't know that he's ever seen the best version of myself because it has been stress, Justin. And he is the most optimistic person in the world. And I used to think I was the most optimistic person in the world. But what I found is this last year, I've become a very pessimistic person because of stress and trying to control things. And I used to be super laid back and easygoing and didn't care so much about the details. But I think in the process of trying to make so much stuff happen and even maybe comparing myself to all the other amazing creators out there, I just started to grip onto stuff so tight. And I'd be mad if I didn't feel like people were working to the same level that I was working or finishing the way that I would have finished or putting in the time or doing all these things that before I didn't care about when I wasn't stressed. But the stress kind of got to me to the point where in the summertime, my wife's like, you're not a very fun person to be around. And those are tough conversations to have, especially with somebody you really care about and somebody you love to have fun with. But especially tough when you know that it's true, but you're not even really sure what to do about it. And that was my summer of realizing that the thing that I loved for, a couple of years, which was making these videos, whether on my YouTube channel or Justin and Greg, or sometimes even for other people, I hated them and I resented them because they just became this pressure on me that just added stress and was robbing me of life because, the thing that I loved to do became the thing that I felt like I had to do, even though I didn't. But that's how I felt, and I felt like I just needed to keep grinding and keep hustling and just keep doing stuff. And I was just holding on so tight and couldn't trust that it was going to be okay. That at the end of the summer, like I almost completely burned out. Like I was a mess. I was a emotional wreck. I was just a disaster, I think, in every way. I had no patience. I was so passive aggressive and mean, and I could be cutting. And I kind of lost who I am at the core, which is very happy-go-lucky, optimistic, and just kind of excited about life and just wanted to do adventures. But, some of that's just the pressure of trying to do something special, and some of that is not being intentional in the process to take care of myself. So if you've been following some of my other stuff, maybe see, I started going on walks in the morning. I started forcing myself to slow down. I started talking to some people about, some of my own things in forgiveness and offense and things that I know that I need to deal with in my life. And I just became a little bit more intentional, but it still didn't necessarily all go away because we had a lot of pressure and a lot of stress to try and make this thing that is Justin and Greg viable. And meanwhile, I invested all of my money and borrowed a lot of money, and I was out of money. And that's a whole other layer of stress when you're going, I don't know how I'm going to pay the mortgage this month. And this might look foolish, but I'm trying to invest in my dreams and what I feel like I was made to do, but the bank account doesn't see it that way. And when you're already dealing with all that stuff, to layer that in there, it just it almost became, more than I could manage. And we were kind of waiting for a breakthrough. We needed to catch a break. And we felt like we were going to get it before the end of the year happened. And my wife had said, hey, I can give you till the end of the year. And we're kind of like, we need a miracle. We need something to happen before the end of the year. We feel like it's going to happen, but December is not the best month for something to happen. It's just, it's not. Because everybody gets busy and it's Christmas time, and we went into Christmas break and nothing had happened yet. And we're kind of looking for a sign. And I remember at Christmas time, just being so emotional about this because we'd come so far and you saw all the amazing stuff that had happened. And we're just I'm like, is this over? Do I need to go find a job or go back to having a business when this is what I love and this is what I felt like we're meant to do? And I remember there was a day, I think it was December 27th, where I was just such a mess internally, emotionally, that I thought I think I'm going to need some help in some way. I actually am not sure that I can handle this, whatever this was. I was just I was feeling very broken and very lost and very much at the end of I'm going to need something to help me get through this. But December 28th came, and on December 28th, a Friday afternoon before the new year, we got an email, and the email was exactly what we needed to get. That, while I can't describe, like, it wasn't like somebody saying, here's all the money that you need and everything that is going to be taken care of, but it was the breakthrough that we needed, and it just changed everything. It just, the email was like, yep, that's the sign. We're going forward. We've got this. It's what we've been pushing for months and months and months, and we're going to be okay. And it came down to the wire. And, you know, looking back on the season, it's something that, yeah, I just don't know that enough people talk about. And the thing is, we always see people who are so successful and doing it, and we don't always get to peek behind the curtain and see what it has cost them to get there. And I think we think they just woke up one day and they had success, and that it just kind of found them. And if we just do what we love and have fun, that one day, you know, our breakthrough could come. But I think it's far messier than that, and that's what I'm learning. And I think the other big lesson is that nothing ever happens as fast as we want it to happen. And what I've learned in this season is I was just hustling and trying to make it happen as fast as I could, and in the process nearly killed myself. What I should have done was recognize this may take a little while to happen, so slow down, take some time for yourself, breathe, enjoy life, enjoy what's going on in the moment. Don't worry so much about tomorrow, but just enjoy today and be present, and that way you might actually survive. And so I don't know why this video is even out there, but I just wanted to share a little bit of my story and maybe encourage some people out there who might be in a similar situation, that, like, you gotta take care of yourself first or you're not going to make it. And I think it's a lesson for me going forward, as I think some other really big things are going to happen and it's going to feel like it's overwhelming and so much stuff. There was an important lesson for me to learn now, to just go, you need to breathe and you need to make sure that you're okay so that you can be okay for the people around you and not be a giant jerk to your wife, to your business partner, to your kids, to be patient, to be present, and to really, at the end of the day, remember who you are and not to lose that along the way of trying to find success. Yeah, I think that's it. A little one take for you guys. Therapeutic. I appreciate you guys so much watching the channel and following along. I know there hasn't been as many videos on this YouTube channel because we've just been making such a big push for Justin and Greg. And I mean, you're welcome to follow that if you want to follow that. If not, like that I mean, no, I know why you're here. It's because I've been helpful with camera reviews and tips and tricks and advice. But I also want to be sure that, you know, there's also an element there of the stuff that really matters, because that stuff is fine and it's fun and it's interesting and those tools can help you in creation. But ultimately, at the end of the day, creation is about you expressing who you are from a place of healthiness, and that's how you're going to be successful. So can't forget about that stuff too. Also, this is shot on the EOS R with the new 35mm f.18 RF STM IS something or other. And I don't know. I'm curious to see how it looks. Okay, that's it.